pick your class and
earn your battle points.
Because it's time for the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast. Welcome to episode 154 of the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast. I'm your host, Sage Goodwin, joined by my brother and co-host, Sam Goodwin.
Hello there.
In this episode, we'll be talking about Count Dooku, catching up on the previous week's news, and our thoughts on the new game mode and its state.
Let's get started.
Let's get started with Count Dooku. What are our thoughts on Count Dooku?
I know my thoughts. What about your thoughts, Sage?
My thoughts.
Hear.
Okay. I really enjoy Count Dooku. I think Count Dooku is a very balanced villain. He does change a lot of the ways that you fight with lightsabers. Like, it changes how you approach that, especially with blocking. That boy can block like crazy.
After playing Count Dooku a little more with crappy internet, he seems to be about the same from last week. What I talked about.
Last week?
A few weeks ago. I think he's one of the best, if not the best villain so far.
Yeah.
Added cool-wise and powerful-wise.
I still enjoy playing General Grievous more.
Yeah, General Grievous has gotten a lot better, I feel.
Yes.
I feel like people have learned to play him at this point. Because I really underestimated him, and I was playing Obi-Wan a couple days ago, and I was getting wrecked by General Grievous. Mostly because my internet sucked, but also because General Grievous is pretty dang powerful.
Blame it on the internet. Friend of the podcast and friend in real life, Preston Russell, who's been on the show several times, has a pretty awesome strategy with Count Dooku, actually. First, you use Expose Weakness, then you hit a hero with lightning, and while they are down, activate Duelist, and you can land a hit while they're getting up. It's basically a one-hit kill on most players.
Yeah, this is an interesting idea here. Doing combos and heroes and villains.
Yeah, it's not something that we're used to.
Yeah, it seems like it's more of you throw out a move and hope it hits, and then you try to attack him again.
Yeah.
Luke, actually, I had some combos at the start of the game that I would do.
Luke is actually
he's
really
combo
good.
based. You throw him on the ground with the neutral special, like the two back bumpers. I can't remember the name.
RB and LB.
And then you would do your force dash on him and attack him, which is a 2-hit combo, but it does a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, so using Count Dooku's abilities really helps you in getting ahead in the game.
Yeah, I'll have to test out the combo because it could be game breaking if this is true.
Yeah, so Count Dooku, we're big fans of Count Dooku. I'm really interested to see how he stacks up against Anakin, which is coming out this month.
Oh yeah. Looking forward to that.
Yes. And then the thing that I look forward to the new heroes most is how they affect heroes versus villains, because that's been my number one game mode. I've been playing a lot with a friend of the podcast, Preston Russell, hashtag shout out.
Second. Was this the same guy that just sent in?
Yes. Surprising.
Combo?
Yeah.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
Popular guy.
Yes. Apparently you don't like him, Sam.
I do. Well, anyway, Count Dooku-wise, I wanted to talk about how villains and heroes, when they're added, they seem not to affect the bigger game modes really at all.
Not really.
But then when you get to Hero Showdown and Heroes versus Villains, they actually do make a giant impact on the game.
Yes. Anytime a new hero or villain is added to the game, heroes and villains changes drastically.
Because Heroes versus Villains, I feel, is the epitome of Battlefront. Like, when I think of Battlefront in general, I think of heroes and villains. Going
back to Battlefront.
Yes.
2005 and 2006.
And those are my go-to game modes. I haven't played the larger game modes in so long. I've been sticking with Ewok Hunt and Heroes versus Villains and Hero Showdown.
Mm-hmm. I did jump back into Galactic Assault.
It's
pretty recently. It is super fun, especially when you get on Geonosis, or I've really been enjoying Camino.
It's one of the things, I'll play only big game modes for a little while, then I'll go back to hero game modes and just strictly play those. Not really integrating them both in my gameplay.
So I'm interested to see what this new game mode and how that affects it. Perfect segue into, let's talk about this news. So the new game mode, which is a non-linear conquest type game mode. You're going to have these points that you're supposed to capture. It's going to have capital ship takedowns. It's the dream game mode for Battlefront fans. It is codenamed Project Titan. They are making progress on it, but there was a snag. The community events calendar came, and on it was Anakin. Some of the things that were coming this month has been confirmed, the emote wheel, stuff like that. But missing was that new game mode.
So where can we donate? It sounds like some depressing pet commercial right now.
The first sign was that absence of the community calendar.
I was just listening and I just kept hearing depressing music, and I feel like you're doing this on purpose. And, you're doing pauses intentionally. Are you?
Shall I continue?
Only if you'll stop pausing mid-sentence.
Elliot responded, was like, I've got a bad feeling about this. And then that absence spread throughout the community. We were all very, very concerned about this. Friend of the podcast, Cedric, sent us some messages. And he had some really, we had a really good talk on there, talking about the new game mode. He says this: looking at the Reddit comments on the community calendar, oh please no, this game doesn't need any more bad press. This was before everything. This is when we thought the game mode was going to be canceled, which I was seriously considering. Oh, the absence is, they're going to cancel this game. And if they cancel this game mode, I'm like, what's the future of this series, really? Because a lot of what Battlefront is going forward with and how it approaches the new content is hinging on this new game mode. It'll be the first big game mode added to the game since launch, which is very surprising when you say those words out loud. It's supposed to really take advantage of the bigger Geonosis-sized maps. I was thinking the same thing. I was thinking, oh, please don't let it be canceled. But hallelujah, it has just been delayed. Yes, it's extremely disappointing that it has been delayed. After so many times being hyped up, we've been hearing these things. We've been getting these teases on it. It got announced alongside everything. We thought it was all going to come out at the same time, but it has been moved to later in March. Again, they didn't specify dates because who knows? They may move it back again. If they move it back once more, I really think we're going to have a problem in the community and just the mindset around the game.
You can look at this at a bright side where maybe they can improve on what they were screwing up.
That's the background.
Or we can look at it at a Reddit side.
Yeah, so there's the Reddit side, which is, oh crap,
they promised us this, and they're not giving it to us once again.
So I think it was Shigeru Miyamoto, creator of Mario, had this great quote. It is never bad I'd rather delay a game and put more effort into it than release a crappy game. So delays, as long as they come to fruition, are great things for video games. It means that they can add more time, they can put in more effort to make it the thing that they want it to be.
Thus far, Battlefront does not have a good track record with delaying things.
No, they do not.
And it coming to full force.
Yeah, when they say February, they mean the 28th.
Yeah, they're always doing at the furthest point they can release something, and it's still being that month. But so we'll see.
It is game development. Game development's a very complicated
we're getting the
thing.
mode.
Yeah, we're getting the mode. It's coming out. As far as we know, it's just been delayed.
Yes, and I am really looking forward to this mode.
Alongside that, there are also, because of this extra time, 2 brand new reinforcements are coming. We do not know what they are going to be. Again, just a sign of Battlefront, the developers of Battlefront being the developers of Battlefront, not saying exactly what's coming. Or not really developers, Bendwalk and the team behind that on promoting things. But 2 new reinforcements are going to be added to the game alongside this game mode.
Definitely wasn't seeing this coming.
No.
Like when I think of them adding things, I don't even think of that at all. But it's actually a really good idea to add reinforcements.
Exactly, yes.
Definitely mind-blowing.
It's like, oh, they're adding something.
Yeah, something I never thought they would have. That's been at the back of my mind. That's crazy.
I'd also really like to see more weapons being added.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any more weapons, period, since launch.
We've gotten reworks of star cards, but no actual weapons that you can equip.
That's another thing, star cards. We have not seen very many star cards for vanilla trooper classes.
There is a reason for that. The way that they develop the game prohibits them from actually making new star cards without breaking the game. So they have to go in and rework existing ones.
Yeah, which is fine. Because some of those star cards are absolutely useless.
Yeah. So they look at the data and say, okay, this star card isn't being used, so we can change this one. We can either adjust it or we can replace it.
Yeah, weapon star cards, those need a little touch-up right now. Even the trooper classes themselves.
So let's put our speculation hats on. What do you think these 2 new reinforcements will be?
I hope to see a commander clone class like Cody or Rex.
Okay.
For the hero side.
I know commando droids from,
or even droidicas would be amazing, which probably It would take a lot of development to get.
Do you hear the sigh? They have already shut down droidicas, sadly.
Yep.
Droidicas are not a thing that are going to be added in this update. Binwalk was quick to be like, okay, these aren't droidicas. Hopefully. He's lying. But I don't think that they're going to be adding droidicas. They are a very complicated thing to be added to the game. But again, Battlefront 2005 had it. So it's it's not out of the question. It's just,
I hope at least down the line that we'll add it eventually.
I do too. I don't see it happening since this is something that's like, oh, we're bringing two new reinforcements because we have extra time to be able to put into them. I don't see that being droidicas. I know they have been working on in the background animations and little design skeletons for droidicas, but nothing has come to fruition so far.
But you mentioned Battlefront 2005, and that's actually a good point to draw inspiration from because there was a lot of awesome reinforcement classes in that game. Like the Magna droids were awesome.
Yes.
I would love to see that, especially alongside General Grievous on the battlefront.
That would be pretty. Yes, I would love to see that.
Not even having their lightsaber type things, but just the weapons themselves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I second that. I think that would be awesome. I'm really surprised that they didn't bring back the squad reinforcements like they did in Battlefront 2015. You know, like you spawned in as Emperor Palpatine or Princess Leia, and then you got the guards.
I actually forgot about that. Most of these characters can obviously, they have multiple heroes in the game that could utilize that mechanic. We got Palpatine, General Grievous could.
Count Dooku.
Most of these are villains right now.
Let's look at
I mean, Leia. Yeah. Leia had a good excuse for that. We could have Chewbacca spawn in Lumpy and Itchy. What's Chewbacca's wife's name? Like Mala?
Mala.
Mala as a playable villain or hero. Come on, guys.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the delay of this new game mode?
I mean, I was kind of expecting it. It seemed too good to be true.
Yeah.
Like there's just some things that they're announcing that I'm like, that cannot be happening.
And I'd like to say if I was the developers, I'd be as vague as possible as well.
Yeah, because they haven't really done any set any milestones for the game mode, like really set in stone kind of things.
They don't even have an official name for it yet.
Yeah, it's codenamed right now. I mean, it's understandable, especially they set themselves up to kind of delay it with all the lack of information they gave us. I'm disappointed, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I'm patient. I can wait for that.
As long as they are doing what they say they're doing, which is putting more effort and polishing the game mode, I'm going to be happy. I mean, this game mode's going to be fun. This game mode's going to change how the game is played, and hopefully it'll bring in a new wave of players.
Yeah, because most of our big game modes right now are like one side versus the other, one defending, one attacking, and this is kind of both attacking or both defending.
Yes.
You know, one player can change the tide of the game if it's like 2005 Battlefront, to where if you capture a point, it'll be so awesome, especially with hopefully they do a set number of troops, so it's more like a you only live once type deal. That would be awesome.
You would prefer you only have one life?
No, like, you know how they give you like a set of 200 versus 200?
Yeah.
And you utilize those because it's more.
Would you want them to regenerate life? Like if you capture a certain amount of points, do you want them to regenerate part of your numbers, or just keep it like set 200 and then that's what you get for the rest of the game?
I feel like the majority should have some type of an advantage if they have like a 4-3, if there's like 7. The person with the higher number maybe either like lessens the troop number. I don't know. Maybe they gives them all a boost in their life and all that. But that seems a little unfair to the other team.
Yeah.
Because obviously you can A, kill the opponents all their lives down, or B, capture all the points. Those are the two ways you can win. And I'm not sure if they would make it more about the capturing points or more of the taking lives. We'll have to see.
Yeah, and this is all speculation. We don't have any confirmation on whether this is going to how the game mode.
When we hear Conquest, that's what I'm comparing it to inherently. But they released Battlefront. We had all these, okay, this was awesome. In Hunt, like we were comparing it to Battlefront 2005.
Yeah.
But it was its own game. So we'll have to see when that comes out.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. This is its own game. It's not like this isn't Battlefront 4.
Yeah, I feel like they're making these names to draw out nostalgia in players.
But I think
which is both a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, it works out to their disadvantage more than it does to their advantage.
People have all these
preconceived notions. They're like, oh, this is what Hunt should be.
It has to be like this.
Yeah.
And if they're disappointed, you're going to have some backlash there.
Yeah, it's going to be blamed on the fact that, oh, this isn't the game I played when I was 4.
Yeah, why use the name if you're not going to deliver on that? So I hope they keep taking these names from Battlefront 2005 and not delivering on them. Mm-hmm. So we'll see if this is the one exception for that.
Yeah, I'm greatly looking forward to see how they approach that. And this is also a big turning point because this will be the end of the Clone Wars season. But it's also good because we don't get a group. We get Anakin in February and the new rework for the emote wheel, which we'll get into in a second, and the rework for the designs of the clone troopers. So we get all of this in February, and we also in March, when we didn't know what was going to actually be in March, we get this new game mode and 2 new reinforcements.
Hopefully, but I'm not liking the season format right now to where you get minimal content over a really large span of time. Hopefully this is for themselves to catch up with themselves and start bringing out a lot of new content. Because, they don't really have an excuse. Because they were, even at the start of this game, pumping out decent content for a little bit amount of time. Comparing it to Battlefront 2015, we were getting more content over less time. When we were in this game, promised more content, less time.
More content, more frequently.
Yes, exactly. But we're getting, a hero here and there that aren't coming with awesome maps or game modes. So hopefully after the Clone Wars season comes to a complete, we'll start seeing a different format that works better for us.
Yeah, and we still don't have, there is an after the Clone Wars season roadmap that we still don't have yet.
Yeah, we don't know if they're going to continue the Clone Wars or maybe reset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like what direction are they going to take? Are they going to go with new movies?
Are we going to go in a loop like, we get prequel content, original trilogy, then sequel trilogy, and that keeps rotating. But there's a lot of new Star Wars content coming out.
Exactly.
So we'll definitely have to see on that.
There's Solo, which they didn't take full advantage of with the heroes. Like, I was really expecting them to add.
Yeah, that was really, felt like rushed.
Yeah.
They were just trying to throw it together to get some sales.
If they keep it up to the end of the year, we've got the new Star Wars movie coming out.
Which is going to be big.
Yes.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah, they delayed the movie to December, and I really hope that Battlefront 2 makes the effort to actually put into content for the game on that movie.
They have a lot of prep time right now that they could start doing that, so they definitely need to work on that. So
get their partnership with Lucasfilm back to the core where they were in development of the game.
And start getting, talking to them, see if they get any details to start prepping for the season.
Yeah.
If so.
Like with Battlefront 2015, we talked to the developers around the time Rogue One came out, talking about the content and how they worked with Lucasfilm on to creating that content, how they got to see parts of the movie and get inspiration from concept art and ideas that they had in place for that. Before the movie came out, they didn't actually see the whole movie, but with Battlefront 2 2017, they were able to work very closely with Lucasfilm in the creation of The Last Jedi season and its content.
Ideally, they should have enough time for one more season before the new movie comes out, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Because they're in an awkward position right now. They're just about to come to a close. It's about to be springtime here soon, and they need to get this season out before they come to the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
Because I felt like The Last Jedi DLC was kind of rushed as well, kind of thrown together to an extent.
I don't think so. I think it had an idea of what the season wanted to be. It wanted to be like, oh, I picked this side versus this side, and then we battle it out and see.
Yeah, because they announced it, and it was really close for the movie to come out.
It came out actually before the movie.
It was really close after they released it for the movie to come out. Because obviously they want to get it out first, so they get some of the hype around it. Oh, I can play this before the movie comes out. So I'm interested to see how they take that experience and push it forward to this next movie.
Exactly. Now let's go into the new change that they're going to be adding, or one of the new changes, the emote wheel. Quote, a long time ago in a transmission far, far away, we talked a little bit about our plans to include an emote wheel into Star Wars Battlefront 2. Emotes have always been a fun addition to the game, and we've seen how much you enjoy Hello There.
Hello there.
The emote wheel will allow you to equip all the emotes that are currently in the game, the ones that you've currently got equipped onto your troopers and heroes, whereas currently you can only have 2 emotes selected. With the new emote wheel, you'll be able to select up to 8. The emote wheel is due to arrive within the Chosen One update, which is set for February 27th.
This is something that I enjoy a lot, is the emote system. Like, I love the idea of it. I just love the mechanics of it, and I like to, emote on people when I kill them. But that was something that in Battlefront 2015, I really, bonded with.
Yeah.
Was the emote system.
Emotes were huge in that game.
Yeah. There was a select few that everyone would use, and those were the popularized ones. And then looking at this game, there's, weapons I was more familiar with in 2015 Battlefront, star cards, and emotes. I feel like we've got a little disconnect with those 3 mechanics in this game. I hope they, flesh it out more and make emotes something I want to do.
Yeah.
Rather than just throwing them on and seeing how they work.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to be able to equip up to 8. I mean, 2 is ridiculous, and the whole process of equipping them is very annoying.
Yeah, the whole UI for the whole the hero system, where you upgrade and buy skins is really confusing.
Yeah.
And that even correlates with the emotes as well.
I would like to be able to purchase emotes in between rounds, or before the game starts. I think that would be great.
And they need to frequently add more emotes, because I feel like it's kind of stale.
It is a little bit stale. Like, what are the new emotes that have been added for troopers?
I have not even looked at them in so long.
Have there been any?
I want to say no.
I don't think there have been.
Because we've had every community transmission and they say nothing about emotes for trooper classes.
Yeah, they've got emotes for the heroes that they've been adding. But correct us if we're wrong. You can reach out on Twitter at Swbp Podcast or through email, battlefrontpodcast@gmail.com. Have there been any? Let us know. Right now, I can't think of any.
I don't know.
I want to say that there have been, but I can't remember if there have been what exactly they are.
Maybe they'll add like trooper versions of hero emotes that came out.
Mm-hmm.
That's a possibility.
Like hello there.
And if they don't, they need to.
Yeah, that'd be great.
I just wish the UI was more user-friendly for customization and upgrading star cards.
One last thing before we end this episode, we got an email from Chris Bunn. Hello, I just found your podcast and I'm very pleased to hear some positive stuff being said about Battlefront 2. A lot of negative stuff can be found online. A lot of negative stuff and old stuff seems to be all I can find online. So I have a question for you. I've been away from gaming for a very long time. Not decades, mind you, but years for sure. The game I decided I want to play most upon taking up this hobby again is Battlefront 2. So how do you guys think I could get back into the swing of things without just dying constantly? Also, I've heard wait times to get into certain game modes can be immensely long. Have you found that to be the case? I am on Xbox in North America if that makes a difference in your opinion. Once again, thanks for your positivity about a game I'm excited about giving a go. Thank you so much for sending that email in, Chris. Really appreciate it. What do you think? What are your thoughts on this?
Depends on like how many shooters you've played in your lifetime. Because I found like people who play Call of Duty religiously have a inherent upper hand on people that just picked up Battlefront, for example.
Some skills carry over from shooter to shooter. The first thing that came to mind, one of the first ways I think would be good to kind of get an idea for the mechanics would be offline arcade.
Yeah, solid start.
I think that's a good starting point. It doesn't have any stress of online players. You can pause at any time.
Once you get the basic mechanics down, you're basically good to go.
Yeah.
Practice the weapon mechanics and how different weapons operate.
I'd also suggest tweaking with the sensitivity of the blasters, the controls in particular. Sometimes starting out you want to maybe do it a little bit slower, or maybe you just want to be able to feel a little bit faster, so you up it up a little bit more.
Yeah, so treat arcade like a tutorial almost, and then jump into I would suggest Galactic Assault and stick with your team.
Yeah, Galactic Assault's really good because you are a part of a team. It's much bigger, broader scope, so you can kind of take your time more than, say, something like Blast. Because a new player going into Blast, it's going to get very annoying.
Free for all almost, with some certain restraints. But sticking with your team is always a good start.
Start out maybe not going especially for kills, but going for the objective. That I find that really helps when you're changing up that mindset of, I'm not trying to get on the top of the leaderboard by kills. I just want to help my team achieve that goal.
Yeah, and I would say the easiest class to play is heavy, but if you're going to start off like playing with your teammates, the best is officer.
Yeah, officer's
really solid weapons, really easy to get shots with him, and plus he can heal himself and others, so a little harder to kill. He's
also more strategic, like you place your turret down and you can kind of play around with that. As for the game modes, a lot of it depends on the time frame that you're playing. I know a couple times I've been playing late at night, been having troubles getting a full lobby in on Heroes versus Villains. A lot of it depends on when you play. Like if you play late at night, maybe your preferred servers aren't necessarily North America, but you start going into other countries.
Yeah, and it also depends on which type of game mode you pursue, because other types of game modes are less popular than others. I find that Ewok Hunt actually is pretty easy to get in a lobby.
Oh, really?
It's fairly popular.
I've not played Ewok Hunt in a while.
I haven't experienced wait times at all in so long. Like normally I'll play Heroes vs. Villains or Ewok Hunt and wait maybe 15 seconds before finding a lobby.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that varies depending on what time of day, like you said.
Yeah, a lot of it depends on the time of the day.
Yeah, but the main game modes like Galactic Assault and Heroes vs. Villains you shouldn't have a problem with.
Yeah, exactly. The big popular ones are always going to have people on them.
Yeah, and I play both PlayStation 4 and Xbox One and experience minimal wait times.
Exactly. Also, if you want to send us a friend request on Xbox or PlayStation, on Xbox it is Swb Podcast, and on PlayStation it is Tie-Dye Sheep Films. TYEDYESHEEPFILMS. I think that's about it for this episode of the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast. I've been your host, Sage Goodwin.
And I'm Sam Goodwin.
You can follow us on Twitter at SWB Podcast. We are 10 away from 1,100 followers on Twitter. We would definitely appreciate it if you gave us a follow. Try to stay active there. And if you have any thoughts, definitely send us a message, and that is at SWB Podcast. You can support us on Patreon, patreon.com/battlefrontpodcast, or on PayPal, paypal.me/tie-dye-sheep, TYEDYESHEEP. And a way that you can support us and helps us out a ton is through leaving us a review on iTunes. Honestly, it is a great way to help our podcast grow, and also sharing it with your friends, families, neighbors, random people on the street. We appreciate that as well.
Our YouTube channel is youtube.com/the Star Wars Battlefront Podcast, and our Gmail is battlefrontpodcast@gmail.com.
You can listen to the show on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Google Play, or anywhere you find podcasts. As always,
thanks for listening,
and may the Force be with you.